Welcome today to the second session and second day of environment and sustainability. Uh, and today I will be giving the talk, and that will be on solid waste management. Now, with this, I'll start sharing my screen. Just hold on for 1 minute. I have to do one settings. Okay, attendance tracking is on. Okay. So, is it visible? Some of the students, please tell me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, if you look at this picture, what comes in your mind? Please tell me directly. What comes to your mind when you see this picture?
All these waste are in a form of solid waste that's and non-biodegradable.
There's this picture
Segregated.
segregated. This picture, what does this picture say?
Loading of wastes.
Exactly. They are trying to manage these wastes, and these are labeling of these wastes. Okay, somebody is wanting to enter. I have to make some few people as hosts, so they can. First is Shambhavi, co-host, Zarka, co-host. Well, for the time being, let's go ahead with this. So this is particularly, you people have got it right. So you have segregated the wastes, and you have people, they are loading these wastes, and you have some labeling done in some containers. So basically, this would mean that this picture's cartoon signifies solid waste management. Now, that is exactly what is my topic today. I will be talking about solid waste management. So, what we will be talking about, I will try to introduce you to the solid waste management, talk about a history of solid waste and the history of trash. Then, what are the sources and the types of wastes? What are solid wastes? How do you dispose of solid waste? What is the magnitude of the problem and the current status? And disposal of healthcare waste, waste management, some initiatives taken, some false initiative taken, I would say. How politicians, although I have to, how politicians malign a good cause into a money making issue for themselves. This is also something I will be talking about. And then you have public health significance, conclusion, and then some of the references. And I will pass you these slides. So to you can see lots of wastes over here. So now let's get to the introduction part. So what is waste? Waste can be defined as something which the original user no longer uses or values, and has been discarded or discharged by the original user. So I had a product, I utilize that product. Now, what is remaining of it, I don't value it anymore. I don't want to keep it in my house. It is taking up space. It is not of worth of me. So I discard it. somewhere else outside. And after I discard it, nobody then needs it anymore. They don't value it anymore. Okay. So it is something one does not want anymore and they want to throw it away. So it is therefore an inevitable byproduct of any process one can think of. Anything has got a waste, right from electronic A to Z of whatever you think about, you have uh, these wastes produced. This was the definition as per the Environment Protection Act 1993. So, briefly, any discarded, rejected, abundant, unwanted surplus matter, whether or not intended for sale or for recycling, reprocessing, recovery, or purification by a separate operation from that which produced the matter. This is basically the whole definition. You don't need it, you have used it, you have sent it away. It can be used later for recycling, reprocessing, recovery, purification, or something else, whatever you want to do. So let us go get to the timeline of this trash. So trash has played a tremendous role in history. Once upon a time, this bubonic plague in the medieval Europe, bubonic plague, cholera, typhoid. Actually, they are the story of the Death Reaper and all, and these plague workers. They used to wear helmets which had got beaks in front of them, like a bird. That was their protection, like a mask. This bubonic plague, cholera, typhoid, to mention a few. And in India, some days back, this plague problems in Surat, Gujarat was a very dirty place. Then they had this huge amount of this plague victims coming, and this plague came, and because of this plague in Surat, what happened? It became an international news. Gujarat became a cleaner place. So the same thing happened in Europe. They were perpetuated by filth that harbored rats and contaminated water supplies. Medieval Europe. It was not uncommon for Europeans to throw their garbage and even human wastes out of the window. So what where they used to make their waste, they used to have things like chamber pots. So they did all their shit and all their piss in little pots inside the room, and then these chamber pots, they were thrown out of the windows on the roads. Apart from that, these things went to the road. So basically medieval Europe was very dirty. Basically, I think even India is also something like that. People used to laugh at a movie of Akshay Kumar uh, about these making of these toilets. But the problem is that's a fact. Even today, even in Asansol, if you go to the other side of the Railpar, in the Railpar area, you will find people have got houses without toilets. जिस आंगन में तुलसी है उस आंगन में शौचालय कैसे होगा? People still believe these concepts in India. They don't keep a toilet. What they do, they go at odd times. Whenever I go for a night walk, I see all people sitting there like kangaroos and discarding their bodily wastes. You go to the Aradanga Railpar side, you will find them. When I go for a night walk to reduce my sugar, I see all these things happening over there. How do you explain for this? Europe in the medieval age. But right now, in India, even today, on the roads, they dirty the roads with human wastes. So it was not uncommon for Europeans to throw their garbage, even human wastes, out of the windows. They figured that stray dogs would eat whatever they threw out. किसी भी तरह बाहर से कोई कुछ लेके चला जाएगा. They used to think like that. They never bothered that that would collect over there and cause disease. How does the waste we toss today compare to the waste that was thrown away by other civilizations? It is very hard to be specific. Until recently, trash quantity was calculated by volume, not weight. वजन नहीं दिखता कितना amount of volume था, that was counted. The volume was counted, not weight. Volume is dependent upon how much trash is compacted. So weight is again influenced by moisture content, which varies greatly depending upon climate and weather conditions. In 6500 BC in North American, archaeological studies show a clan of Native Americans in what is now known as Colorado, produced an average of 5.3 pounds of waste a day. Very less. One particular clan produced, that is the something like 2.5 kilos of waste, nothing. In 500 BC, Athens, Greece, first municipal dump in the Western world was organized. Regulations required waste to be dumped at least a mile from the city limits. In 1388 in England, English Parliament, it barred waste dispersal in public waterway. So water pipes used to go to houses, waterways. Instead of pipes, they had little dredges. Water used to go to different houses and they used to collect water from there, these waterways. And people, they used to throw their garbage over there itself. So you can imagine what type of water used to come to the houses. So they, in 1388, the parliament, they barred that people will not throw their garbage over there. In 1400 Paris, in France, garbage piles so high outside of the Paris gate was accumulated that it interfered with the city's defense, because the armies could not defend because of so much garbage over there. Their bullets used to, instead of hitting the enemy soldier, used to hit those garbages. In 1842 England, a report linked disease to filthy environmental conditions. It was the age of sanitation that began in 1842. At that time, England, Europe, they suffered the Renaissance period, and they were from the end of the 17th century or the beginning of 17th century, things began to improve over there in England. In 1874, in Nottinghamshire, place for Robin Hood, England. I was there in Nottingham for a conference. It's not a very beautiful place to be there. You have the Edgbaston cricket over lots of famous Old Trafford over there in Nottingham. So all these things, Nottingham was a nice city, nice, but not very exciting, but it's a nice place to be. So a new technology called the destructor was made, and that is basically they burnt away them in particular chambers. Incineration started. Until till this 1874, much of this garbage used to accumulate, and whatever fire, it was just accidental because of some methane production, and some suddenly it caught fire and the garbage got fired and burned. It was later, but in 1844 74 they started burning. In 1896 in United States, waste reduction plants arrive in US. This is for compressing organic waste. Later closed because of noxious emissions. Then at the turn of the century, 19th century, that is known as the turn of the century, uh, the garbage problem was seen as one of the greatest problems for local authorities. They realized, this is in Europe, in India still today people are not bothered. In 1900, piggeries were developed, pigs were developed to eat fresh or cooked garbage. In the mid 50s, an outbreak of vesicular exanthema resulted in the destruction of thousands of pigs that had eaten raw garbage. These pigs were later killed for for the pork. But then there's so many of these pigs died because of this raw garbage. In the 1920s, in United States, landfills were becoming a popular way of reclaiming swampland. Swampland is wastelands, marshy wastelands, while getting rid of the trash. So All these are unused lands which you cannot do a construction or farming. These waste swamplands, you started piling garbage over there, and these swamps, they got filled up with these trash, and it became a land properly. They started these landfills in 1965. In US, the first federal solid waste management laws were enacted. The first government laws were enacted in 1970. In the US, the first Earth Day was celebrated. The Environmental Protection Agency (EPA) was created, and Resource Recovery Act enacted. In 1979, in US, the EPA issued criteria prohibiting open dumping. So let us now get back to the next part, the sources and other types of wastes. So first you had the residential waste. Basically, the type of waste which is generated is normally from single and multi-family dwellings, residential, from the house. So, what are the wastes coming out from the house? Food, paper, cardboard, plastics, textiles, leather, yard waste, wood, glass, metals, ashes, special waste, etc. Example: they are bulky items, consumer electronics, white goods, batteries, oils, tires, and household hazardous waste. So, pardon for several spelling errors here, because I did not have time to correct all of them. And then you had industrial wastes. They are coming from light, heavy manufacturing, fabrication, construction sites, power and chemical plants. So what do you find them? You have the normal housekeeping or maintenance waste, packaging, food waste, construction and demolition materials, hazardous waste, ashes, special waste, types of different other waste, all different pollutants. We are talking about solid waste. Now forget about the gaseous emissions which are going. Then you have the commercial wastes, basically from hotels, restaurants, stores, markets, office buildings. What do they discard every day? Paper, cardboard, plastic, wood, food waste, glass, metal, special waste, and other hazardous waste. Then you have the institutional waste which you people generate. Schools, hospitals, prisons, government centers. It's the same as commercial. Then you have construction and demolition waste. Who do it? New construction sites, road repairs, renovation sites, demolition of buildings. What are the wastes? Wood, steel, concrete, dirt, etc. Then you have municipal service wastes, street cleaning, landscaping parks, beaches and other recreational areas, water, wastewater treatment plants. So what do they have? Street sweepings, landscape and tree trimmings, general waste from parks, beaches, recreational areas, sludge. Then you have manufacturing processes waste, heavy and light manufacturing refineries, chemical plants, power plants, mineral extraction and processing. What are the wastes? Industrial processes waste, scrap materials, off specification products. Then you have agricultural waste coming from crops, orchard, vineyards, dairies, feedlots, farms. What are they? Spoiled food waste, agricultural waste, hazardous waste like pesticides. Now, this type of litter we generate, and the approximate time it takes to degenerate. So, organic wastes such as vegetable and fruit, peels, leftover foodstuff, etc., they take a week or two. Paper takes 10 to 30 days. Cotton cloth takes 2 to 5 months. Wood takes 10 to 15 years. Woolen items 1 year. Tin, aluminium, and other metal items such as can 100 to 500 years. Plastic bags take 1 million years. So you can imagine how much time it takes to go, and we are throwing away plastic like anything. I'll talk about plastic waste next day. Now we come to the next topic, which is disposal of waste. Let's see if anybody has got any questions. I'm seeing the chat box. Okay, so nobody so far. Do you people have got any questions or comments which you would like to contribute in this regard? Shambhavi, Joita, Shreyas, anything which you want to add from your experience? I want it to be interactive, otherwise you will fall asleep. Anything? Do you have anything you want to share? Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Any of your opinions which you want to say, your experience with solid waste? Anything, nothing is stupid. Anything you contribute will actually, this is going to be recorded and stored. Anything, it will help
So
people.
here people know how to like conquer all these solid waste or say plastic waste, but they don't take any required steps because बोलते ना ज्ञान बहुत है लेकिन उसको यूज नहीं करते तो it's like that.
ज्ञान बहुत है, यूज नहीं करते हैं या यूज करने नहीं देते हैं, दैट इज द क्वेश्चन. It is
Like
very
a single no sir for a single step only and like if one individuals take only one step nothing is going to change like it should be a group work or a crowd work so that some change should be visible like
some change is always visible, that you can see. There are people, the world is running because of 1 or 2% of honest people who are doing their work. These politicians, India can become a developed country or a prospering country very very fast. It will only take hardly 5 to 6 years. But if India becomes a developed country, poverty has been eradicated, social problems have been eradicated, डंडा मार के भागा सकता है. You can remove all the atrocities of society against women. Everything can be removed if there is a particular political will. But the politicians, they will not do it, because the moment they remove poverty from from the country, the requirement of the politician goes away. You have no need for a politician. Why should I pay so much money to pay tax to give fill the politician salary money? The requirement of politicians, they go away. Then nobody is going to vote for them. So they ensure that there is a problem in the environment. They ensure that poverty still remains. They ensure that social injustice still remains. So that they can what do? They can they create a 100% problem, and then they solve 20% of that and say that, see, I have solved 20% of the problems. This is how politicians work.
so it's not always the politicians it's
It's the
sometimes
politicians. It's the politicians.
so there
If
is
the
some
politicians
contribution of
want it,
public also because like they are
because we are
sometimes they are
stupid.
also not contributing to the society or nation. Sometimes some
दो
part
दिन
of a
में.
society.
So listen. One thing I can tell Shambhavi, it's very good that you're contributing. One thing you can say, I can tell you one thing. If you feel that this environment is a problem, in 2 days they can solve this problem. 2 दिन में people के दिमाग में बुद्धि घुसा सकता है, but they will not do it. Why people started wearing masks? You had 90% of the population wearing masks. Only 10% of them are not wearing masks. Why did they allow all these gatherings over there? It was the politicians who allowed these gatherings. So, I mean, I'm not speaking for any party. All parties are equally bad. If they had these politicians are a reflection of our hearts. You can argue like this. They are a reflection of what we are. It is a reflection of what we are, what our society is. If and the enlightened, what is bad is when, like you said, gyan hoke bhi you're not utilizing it. When these enlightened people who have the knowledge, when they don't do anything, when they join politics and then they do not solve these problems, they create problems. We will talk about this later. So again, I'll continue my talk. In India, we had one such brilliant program done by our mastermind politician Narendra Modi. What is it? Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. The result of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan was a tax which you had to pay in every item which you purchase. Swachh Bharat tax. That was a way to mint money. Is India clean from Swachh Bharat Abhiyan? Just to show two photographs and two newspapers and do char bhashan, that's all. The road in front of my house is still dirty every day. Anyway, so it's actually the enlightened people who take up politics. Politics is not bad. It is how like science is not bad. You can use science for benefit, curing people disease. You can also use it for making nuclear bombs and destroying countries and people. Similarly, the politics is also something like this. You can use it for benefit of people. You can use it to benefit yourself at the cost of society. Sell off everything you want of your public infrastructure, public money, sell it to private companies instead
Yeah,
of reforming them. Anyway, let's get back to our topic. So we will talk about now the disposal of wastes. So largely, I will break this topic up. So disposal of waste is now largely the domain of sanitarians and public health engineers. However, health professionals need to have a basic knowledge of the subject, since improper disposal of waste constitute a health hazard. Further, the health professionals may be called upon to give advice in sanitation camps or coping with waste disposal problems when there is a disruption or breakdown of community health services in natural disaster. আচ্ছা অর্ণব মুখার্জি কিছু বলতে চাইছিলে?
হ্যাঁ স্যার,
হ্যাঁ বলো।
বলছিলাম যে everyone of us has to admit that we have one of the most corrupted politics, স্যার। এমনটা নয় যে
Everywhere in the world politics is corrupt.
yeah, sir,
Everywhere in the
but
world.
in our country they just use religion and caste in politics and too much use of
Exactly.
it.
That is one way of politics they are using. This is one way. Religion and caste is one way of politics they are using. In the Western world, this religion and caste has to be kept right. If this religious and caste problem can be removed anytime, it was already almost gone till 2014 when suddenly this religion and caste problem started coming up. People began, this was not in the public agenda also. The first thing, it not come, maybe it was deep in our minds, but it came out in the society immediately.
Yes, sir.
Religion and caste, they need these problems. If there is no Hindu Muslim conflict, then what
they
is
are
there?
creating these
They have to
problems.
create this problem, and then they will solve 10% and say that in my rule I've improved 10% of the situation. Abhi bahut
Yes,
kam hai. This is why you don't just, I'm not blaming the BJP. The Congress was equally adept at it. The same thing, any party, and even the so-called secular parties also, they do the same thing. They need a conflict which they need to solve. If they solve all the problems, then what is their requirement? What is the
Yes,
need
sir.
of teacher if you can learn everything yourself? Something like that. It's like मेरे पास ट्यूशन पढ़ने क्यों आएगा लोग? If I am not able to give them certain things, something like that. And so it is very dirty that we use things, and everything is linked. The environment is also the same problem. Pollution is also a pollution of the mind. So the approach which we take, just hold on for a moment. বাবা বলো। হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ। হুম, হুম, হুম। তুমি দিয়ে দিয়েছো? মনোজিৎ চলে গেল? মনোজিতের কাছে চলে গেছে? আচ্ছা। তাহলে তাহলে তোমরা আর কি ওই টেস্টটা করছো না তাহলে, তাই তো? তোমরা কোভিডের টেস্টটা করছো না তো? সিমটম দেখো, আমার মনে হয় আমারও হয়েছে, বুঝতে পারলে তো? হ্যাঁ। কোভিডেতে একটা হচ্ছে একটু সুগারটা বেশির দিকেই থাকে। তুমি তাহলে কিছু করতে হবে না, এখন চেপে যাও, যেই হবে। প্রবলেম যতক্ষণ না হয় ডাক্তারকে জিজ্ঞেস করো না। হুম। এখন ওটা সর্দি কাশির মতনই ব্যাপারটা হয়ে গেছে, তাই তো? হুম, হুম, হুম। হ্যাঁ, 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 হ্যাঁ। আচ্ছা বাবা, আমি একটু পরে করছি, আমি একটা টক দিচ্ছি, ঠিক আছে? হ্যাঁ। তো তো তোমার এই ঠিক আছে, তাই জন্য আমি রাখছি, হ্যাঁ। ওকে, ওকে। So I'm sorry for this delay. Actually, my mother has been is COVID positive. I get to know this news from Calcutta, but it is nothing serious. Already 9 days have passed. It's only the report which is positive, and she has no fever or something like that. Only stomach upset and problem, which is other thing. So okay. So disposal of waste is now largely the domain of sanitarians and public health engineers. However, health professionals need to have a basic knowledge of the subject since improper disposal of waste constitute a health hazard. Further, the health professionals may be called upon to give advice in sanitation camps or coping with waste disposal problems when there is a disruption or breakdown of community health services in natural disasters. Healthy cities and villages cannot thrive within sanitary waste and indifferent sewage disposal. Everybody knows, so therefore our city is not healthy. Like yesterday, I told this gutkha problem. This is major problem in India. You don't have respect for anything. You do. This shows how much respect you have for the environment. You're spitting on the road. How much respect? You don't have it. It is not being taught at home. They have got more respect for an idol sitting in the temple, more respect for a for a masjid, more respect for a church, but though no respect for the roads. In interest of community, it is essential to safely put these unwanted discarded materials away. Wastes, nevertheless, cannot be avoided totally from man's existence either. It cannot be avoided. The output of daily waste depends upon the dietary habits, lifestyles, living standards, and degree of urbanization and industrialization. The per capita daily solid waste produced ranges between 0.25 to 2.5 kg in different countries. Ha, that's a lot. Wastes are of three types: solid waste, sewage, sullage. Wastewater from a community containing solid and liquid excreta derived from houses, street and yard washings, factories and industries. Sullage, it's wastewater which does not contain human excreta, that is sullage. Sewage contains excreta, solid and liquid. So If many of you have seen my house in Murgasol, we have a huge big nala running beside. People, an open drain going. That is a sewage. This nala is a sewage. We don't have a closed type. We have an open sewage. It is open. Nobody's bothered. People are throwing garbage in that freely. They are throwing garbage. They are peeing inside. They are even doing their shit also inside, and it's becoming dirty to dirty. And this is all going to go to the river. Silage is even more dangerous because human excreta and all these things, they are degraded very fast. In 1 or 2 weeks it becomes clean. The Ganges had a great power of cleansing power. Therefore, whenever people were sick, they used to say that take a dip in the Ganges, it would cleanse you, because it had a lot of strong cleansing power. The Ganges water had a lot of microorganisms which destroyed all these dirt particles. It was such a wonderful thing. But right now it is so polluted, and this major pollution is coming from Salej, the Yamuna. This is the reason. This Salej, wastewater which does not contain human excreta from the industrial waste, chemicals. The Jamuna is now just a black nala. So what are solid wastes? The term solid waste includes garbage, food waste, rubbish, paper, plastics, wood, metal, glass, etc. They have demolition products, bricks, masonry, pipes, sewage treatment residues like sludge and solids from the coarse screening of domestic sewage, dead animals, manure, and other discarded materials. Solid waste is a health hazard. It decomposes and favors fly breeding. You go to any shop, so many flies, one, they are moving around. They attract rodents and vermin. My God, in Murgasol, so many rats. We have so many rat problems. The pathogen may be conveyed back to man's food through flies and dust. Possibility of water, soil, and air pollution from these solid waste. They seep into the groundwater. Heaps of refuse present in unsightly. They present an unsightly appearance. It looks, and bad odor. It looks bad and bad smell. Sources of refuse. Refuse that is collected by the street cleansing service or scavenging is called street refuse. It consists of leaves, straw, paper, animal droppings, and litter of all kinds. Oh, the cows and the bulls in Asansol, in front of my house, every morning, 6 to 10 cows. And with the cows come the cow dung. Terrible. In the morning, it is terrible. Refuse that is collected from market is called market refuse. It contains a large proportion of putrid vegetable and animal matter. Refuse that is collected from stable is called stable litter. It contains mainly animal droppings and leftover animal feeds. Then you have industrial refuse. It comprises a wide variety of waste, ranging from completely inert materials such as calcium carbonate to highly toxic and explosive compounds. Then you have the domestic refuse, consists of ash, chai, rubbish, and garbage. Ash is the residue from fire used for cooking and heating. Rubbish comprises paper, clothing, bits of wood, metal, glass, dust, and dirt. Garbage is a waste matter arising from the preparation, cooking, and consumption of food. Stable litter, industrial refuse, domestic refuse, and then we go to the next part, that is storage. So you have these storage bins. It is galvanized steel dustbins which have got a closed fitting with a suitable receptacle for storing the refuse. The capacity of a bin will depend upon the number of users and frequency of collection. The output of refuse per capita per day in India is estimated to vary from 1/10 to 1/20th cubic feet. For a family of 5 members, a bin having a capacity of 5 by 10 to half a cubic foot would be needed. If collection is done once in 3 days, a bin having a capacity of 1.5 to 2 cubic feet would be just adequate. A recent innovation in the Western country is the paper sack. Refuse stored in the paper sack, and the sack itself is refused with the contents for disposal, and a new sack is substituted. In Asansol, we are using plastic bags, bin bags. Public bins. They are kept on a concrete platform raised 2 to 3 inch above the ground level to prevent flood water entering the bins. In bigger municipalities, the bins are handled and emptied mechanically by lorries fitted with cranes, dumpers. On the Asansol bypass, you can find such a dumper. Now, collection of waste. The method of collection depends upon the funds available. House to house collection is by far the best method of collecting refuse. In India, there is no house to house collection system. People are expected to dump the refuse in the nearest public bin, which is usually not done. The refuse is then transported in refuse collection vehicles to the places of ultimate disposal. The Environmental Hygiene Committee 1949, it recommended that municipalities and other local bodies should arrange for collection of refuse, not only from public bins but also from individual houses. A house-to-house collection will result in a simultaneous reduction in the number of public bins. The open refuse carts should be abandoned and replaced by enclosed vans. So methods of disposal are dumping, controlled tipping or sanitary landfill, গর্ত খুঁড়ে তার মধ্যে জঞ্জাল ফেলে দাও, ইনসিনারেশন পুড়িয়ে দাও, কম্পোস্টিং মাটির মধ্যে you make compost, manure pits and burial. Dumping. Refuse is dumped in low-lying areas partly as a method of reclamation of land, but mainly as an easy method of disposal of dry refuse. So unusable land is used. This land is good for nothing, that is used, and these garbages are dumped over there. So Kolkata disposes of its refuse by dumping. In the wetland, eastern Kolkata wetlands, there are lots of dumping yards. They dump all the garbage over there. Then there are lots of dump yards. Every locality has got a dump yard. It is done. I've seen this is something which, although I don't like, but some politicians of current politicians in Calcutta, especially in our locality, 1 or 2 good people, they took an initiative and they did it. And the land is leased out for cultivation. So, the eastern Kolkata wetlands, beside the eastern bypass, land sharks needed all these things. Thanks to the effort of one great inspiring person, Dr. Dhrubajyoti Ghosh. He expired 3 or 4 years back. He, by relation, he is supposed to be one of my father's classmates, and an excellent work. I because of that, I had the privilege to talk with him from a very young, early age, and the Kolkata Eastern Calcutta wetlands, that is a beautiful ecosystem. It's a self-sustaining, beautiful ecosystem over there. All the sewage, the dirty sewage from Calcutta, they go to these through small channels and nalas into these wetlands. By the time it reaches the wetlands, because of the microbial action of the sun and everything, the water which actually comes out is almost like drinking water, pure quality in the wetlands. In this wetlands, he started a concept known as, he did not start sewage fisheries. So these sewage waters, they started growing fish over there. So these rohu fish and different fishes started to grow in these sewage areas. And not only rohu, but even small tilapia and everything, they started growing there. And then they compared the bacterial content in the normal fresh fish, freshwater fish, and the sewage water fish. Absolutely the same, no difference. So at one time you started getting rid of the sewage in one hand, and on the other side you had a brilliant thing of you have beautiful delicious fish coming out. So beside the bypass, every morning all the bypass markets, I think Rajrupa madam may know all these things, but uh, these uh, uh, these bypass markets, you find lots of fish coming up from there. You find other fishes also, but lots of these fishes are being, lots of fisheries are coming over there. Bhedis were there during the time of the communist government. These land sharks, they started uh, why communist, any government you can say, the eyes of the land shark fell over there, and these brilliant politicians, they started selling them up. Even they started asking, once one of them came to me, I was a scientist at that time, asked me that, sir, you will get so much amount of money, please sign that this area is a single crop land. The reason being that that land, if it's a single crop land, you cannot, that is going to go for construction beside the bypass. I refused, and because of that, I used to faced a lot of problems, political problems from the then ruling communist government. But anyway, those days are over. Dhrubajyoti Ghosh, what he did, Kaku, he just brilliant. He made it into a Ramsar site. It was it was it went and fell under the Ramsar Convention, and this was protected. It would not be used for the land sharks. So whatever of the bypass or the wetlands remained, it is thanks to this person. Absolutely a brilliant bit of work. He fought against he left his beautiful engineering job, and he just went and did research and did he just saved Calcutta, I would say. He saved Calcutta. So right now, where Sector 5, Rajarhat, and all these were all these particular region of the wetlands which was taken away. Anyway, what is there is there. And of course, you can say that developmental pressure and all these things are there. So this dumping is one of these things which happen. So the World Health Organization expert committee in 1967 condemned dumping as a most insanitary method that creates public health hazards, a nuisance, and severe pollution of the environment. Dumping should be outlawed and replaced by sound procedures. But who listens to whom? Go to Asansol bypass, you will see. Go towards Jubilee petrol pump, near the, you'll find on both sides you'll have these garbage dumps. Dump. Control tipping. Control tipping or sanitary landfill is the most satisfactory method of refuse disposal where suitable land if is available. It differs from ordinary dumping in that the material is placed in a trench or other prepared area, adequately compacted and covered with earth at the end of the working day. The term modified sanitary landfill has been applied to those operations where compaction and covering are accomplished once or twice a week. Then you have the trench method, where level ground is available. The trench method is usually chosen. A long trench is dug out 2 to 3 millimeter, about 6 to 10 feet deep, 4 to 12 meters, 12 to 36 feet wide, depending upon local condition. ये देखो खोद रहा है इसको यहाँ पे ऐसे ट्रेंच बनाया. The refuse is compacted, छप 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 प्रेशर करके छोटा करके कॉम्पैक्ट करके it is just put inside this, covered with excavated earth, where compacted refuse is placed in the fill to a depth of 2 meters to 6 feet. It is estimated that 1 acre of land per year will be required for 10,000 population. So imagine 1 acre for people of 10,000, and how many lakhs live in millions live in Kolkata? 9 to 11 millions live. For 10,000, 1 acre. So you can calculate and see how many acres of land you will need for getting Kolkata's garbage in this trench. It is not actually feasible. You have the ramp method. This method is well suited where terrain is moderately sloping. Some excavation is done to secure the covering material. Area method. This method is used for filling land depressions, disused quarries, clay pits. They do it in Raniganj. All those quarries, instead of sandbags, they some nowadays they are putting. I hear. I don't know in reality if it's happening. They are putting all these refuse and packing in where the coal is taken out. Then each layer is sealed on its exposed surface with a mud cover at least 30 centimeters thick. Such sealing prevents infestation by flies and rodents and suppresses the nuisance of smell and dust. So this is a relatively better method. Incineration, jalado. It is not a popular method in India because refuse contains a fair proportion of fine ash, which makes the burning difficult. Hospital refuse, which is particularly dangerous, is best disposed by burning them. A preliminary separation of dust or ash is needed. All this involves heavy outlay and expenditure, besides manipulative difficulties in the incinerator. There are basically three kinds of incinerators. The first is the double or the chamber pyrolytic incinerator. Then you have the single chamber. Pyrolytic means uh, actually in the absence of oxygen, under chemical and heat treatment, you can break down organic materials like through pyrolysis into a solid char, a uh, liquid part, and then into a non-compactable gas. So you can separate components like this in a non-oxygen container where you are heating or giving chemical treatment. This is basically pyrolysis. They do it to petroleum also. They heat this petroleum in the absence of oxygen and closed, and then you'll have petrol, diesel, tar, wax. All these different components are breaking up of this from this petroleum, which comes out from the ground. Then you have single chamber furnaces. You have rotary kilns. So pyrolytic incinerators, the most reliable and commonly used process for healthcare waste. They are also known as double chamber incinerators, as they comprise of a pyrolytic chamber where the heating is done in the thermochemical. I would rather say the thermochemical treatment. Heating in the presence of is done in the absence of oxygen, and you have a post combustion chamber. It is burnt over there. It is suitable for infectious wastes, including sharp items and pathological wastes, pharmaceutical and chemical residues. It is inadequate for genotoxic waste, radioactive waste, non risk healthcare wastes. Imagine a radioactive waste you are burning, the radioactive gas is spread throughout the world. So it is not to be used in these incinerations. Then you have these single chamber incinerators. They can be this can be used for healthcare waste if a pyrolytic incinerator cannot be afforded. This type of incinerator treats wastes in batches. Loading and de-ashing operations are performed manually. This method should only be used as a last resort, as it is difficult to burn the waste completely without generating potentially harmful smoke. So, drawbacks: the process will cause emission of black smoke, fly ash, and potentially toxic gases. Exhaust gas cleaning is not practical, can ensure air pollution. You have the rotatory kiln. They comprise a rotating oven and a post combustion chamber. It looks like this. Rotatory kiln may operate continuously and adaptable to a wide range of loading devices. It is used for infectious wastes and pathological wastes. It is used for cytotoxic wastes. It is inadequate for radioactive waste. Capacity rotatory kilns 0.5 to 3 tons per hour. Its capacity is. Its disadvantages: you need well trained personnel required, energy consumption is high, equipments and operation costs are high. लेने के देने पड़ जाएंगे. Then the very popular thing, composting. It is a process of nature whereby organic matter breaks down under bacterial action, resulting in the formation of relatively stable humus like material called the compost, which has a considerable manurial value for the soil. The principal byproducts are carbon dioxide, water, and heat. The heat produced during composting 60 degrees centigrade or higher over a period of several days destroys eggs and larvae of flies, weeds, seeds, and pathogenic agents. The end product compost contains few or no disease producing organism and is a good soil builder containing small amounts of the major plant nutrients such as nitrates and phosphates. So wonderful. Getting rid of the waste at the same time, wonderful manure, beautiful full gobi milega, beautiful cauliflowers. The following methods are used now. One is the Bangalore method. It is the anaerobic method, and the other is the mechanical composting, which is the aerobic method. So let us look at the Bangalore method of composting. The Bangalore method of composting was developed in India, of course, in Bangalore in 1939. It has been recommended as a satisfactory method of disposal of town wastes and night soil. It is also called the hot fermentation process. Trenches are dug 3 feet deep, 5 to 8 meters broad, and 5 to 15 feet long. It should be located 800 meters away from city limits. First, a layer of refuse about 15 centimeter thick is spread at the bottom of the trench. Over this, night soil is added corresponding to a thickness of 5 centimeter. Then alternate layers of refuse and night soil are added in the proportion of 15 centimeter and 5 centimeter respectively. Till the heat, sorry for the spelling mistake, till the heat rises to 30, here, sorry, it's not, the heap rises to 30 centimeter. It's not a mistake. It's perfect. The heap rises to 30 centimeter. The heap, mane, the pile above the ground level. The top layer should be refuse, at least 25 centimeter, 9 inches thickness. Then the heap is covered with excavated earth. Within 7 days, as a result of bacterial action, considerable heat over 60 degrees centigrade is generated in the compost mass. This intense heat, which persists over 2 to 3 weeks, serves to decompose the refuse and night soil and to destroy all pathogenic and parasitic organisms. At the end of 4 to 6 months, decomposition is complete and the resulting manure is well decomposed, odorless, innocuous material of high manural value. The mechanical composting, now we will go to. It is aerobic method, indoor method is also called. Compost is manufactured on large scale. The refuse is first cleared of all salvable materials such as rags, bones, metal, glass, items which are rendered to interfere in grinding. It is then pulverized in the pulverizing equipment in order to reduce size of particles to less than 2 inches. The pulverized refuse is then mixed with sewage, sludge, or night soil in a rotating machine and incubated. The entire process of composting is completed in 4 to 6 weeks. This method of composting is in function in some of the developed countries like Holland, Germany, Switzerland, Israel. Cities such as Delhi, Nagpur, Mumbai, Chennai, Pune, Allahabad, Hyderabad, Lucknow, and Kanpur have offered to join the government for setting up pilot plants for mechanical composting. Then you have manure pits. Manure pits is the best method of refuse disposal by individual householders. The garbage, cattle dung, straw, and leaves should be dumped into the manure pits. Two such pits will be needed. When one is closed, the other will be in use. In 5 to 6 months' time, the refuse is converted into manure, which can be returned to the field. This method of refuse disposal is effective and relatively simple in rural communities. Then you have burial. This method is suitable for small camps. A trench 1.5 centimeter wide and 2 meter deep is excavated, and at the end of each day, the refuse is covered with 20 to 30 centimeter of earth. Vermicomposting. Municipal solid waste is highly organic in nature, so vermicomposting has become an appropriate alternative for the safe, hygienic, and cost effective disposal of it. In this method, earthworms feed on the organic matter present in the soil waste and convert into casting ejected matter rich in plant nutrients. Vermicomposting has been used in various cities of India like Hyderabad, Bangalore, Mumbai, and Faridabad. So let us see the magnitude of the problem in India. Per capita waste generation increasing by 1.3% per annum, with urban population increasing between 3 to 3.5% per annum. Yearly increase in waste generation is around 5% annually. So yearly increase in waste generation is around 5% annually. India produces 42 million tons of municipal solid waste annually at present. Per capita generation of waste varies from 200 grams to 600 grams per capita per day. Average generation rate at zero point 0.4 kg per capita per day. The collection efficiency ranges between 50 to 90% of the solid waste generated. What happens to the remainder? Urban local bodies spend around rupees 500 to rupees 1500 per ton on solid waste management, of which 60 to 70% of the amount is on collection alone, 20 to 30% on transportation. Hardly any fund is spent on treatment and disposal of waste. Just hold on for some time. I'll just take some water. Okay. Urban local bodies spend around rupees 500 that we have spent. So crude dumping of waste is in most of the cities. Present status of waste management: storage of waste at source is lacking. Domestic waste is stored, thrown on the streets. Trade wastes on roads per streets. Construction debris left unattended. Biomedical wastes disposed in municipal waste streams so dangerous. Industrial waste disposed in open areas, segregation of recyclable waste at source not done, design and location of municipal waste storage depots are inappropriate, resulting in littering of garbage, street sweeping not done every day. Look into our college. Waste transportation is done in open vehicles. Rat pickers collect recyclables from municipal bins, dump sites, and litter the waste, causing insanitary conditions. Now let us talk about disposal of hospital care waste. So what are healthcare wastes? It is defined as all the waste generated by healthcare establishments, research facilities, and laboratories. Biomedical waste, according to Biomedical Waste Management and Handling Rules 1998 of India, biomedical waste means any waste which is generated during the diagnosis, treatment, or immunization of human beings or animals, or in research activities pertaining thereto, or in the production of testing biologicals. Essentially, anything from biology, any waste from biology and medicine. Waste produced in the course of healthcare activities carries a higher potential for infection and injury than any other type of waste. Inappropriate and inadequate handling of healthcare waste may have serious public health consequences and a significant impact on the environment. Wherever it is generated, safe and reliable methods are therefore essential. So let us classify healthcare waste. It can be classified into infectious, pathological waste, and sharps. Sharps are needles, scalpels, knives, blades, glass, etc. Pathologies, human tissue, body fluids like body parts, bloods, and other body tissue, fetuses. Infectious waste, waste suspected to contain pathogens like lab cultures, waste from isolation wards, tissues, materials, or equipments that have been in contact with infected patients and excreta. You have pharmaceutical wastes also. Waste containing drugs and medicines expired or discarded, items containing pharmaceuticals like bottles and cartons. You have genotoxic waste, waste containing drugs and chemicals used for cancer therapy, cytotoxic drugs. Then you have chemical waste, waste containing lab chemicals, solvents, reagents, X-ray solutions, disinfectants, and reagents. You have wastes with heavy metals. They are batteries, broken thermometers, blood pressure gauges, pressurized containers. You have aerosol cans, fire extinguishers, gas cylinders, gas cartridges. Then you have the radioactive waste. So sources of healthcare waste are government hospitals, private hospitals, nursing home, physician's office, dentist's office, dispensaries, primary health centers, medical research and training establishments, mortuaries, blood banks, research organization, and vaccinating centers. So composition of hospital wastes is the amount of waste generated per bed varies with the type of hospital. However, on an average, 1 to 5 kgs of waste per bed is generated. 85% are non-hazardous, 15% are hazardous, 5% are hazardous but not infective, and 10% are hazardous and infective. So this is a list of the countries, the amount of hospital waste produced. So what is the rationale or the logic for waste disposal? To prevent nosocomial infections, to protect healthcare workers, to prevent risk to general population. We are having nosocomial infections go to the everywhere in a community, infection spreading in the community. Steps in management of healthcare waste. The key to minimization and effective management of healthcare waste is segregation and identification of the waste, appropriate handling, treatment, and disposal of waste by the types. Segregation, सबको अलग करके रखो. Color coded containers. Containers should never be overfilled. Collection, waste should not be allowed to accumulate. जमायत যাতে না হয়. No bags should be removed unless they are labeled. The bags and containers should be replaced immediately with new ones of the same type. Then you have the storage. The waste should be stored in a separate area, room, or building of a size appropriate to the quantity of waste produced and the frequency of collection. The storage area should have an impermeable, hard standing floor with good drainage. It should be easy to clean and disinfect. There should be a water supply for cleaning purposes. Labeling, it is very important. All waste bags and containers should be labeled. It should be labeled like this: 2 digits, year of manufacture of the packaging, waste category, date of collection, place in hospital where produced, waste destination. This symbol should be there. Then transportation. Waste should be transported by means of wheeled trolleys, containers, or carts that are not used for any other purposes. They should be easy to load and unload, no sharp edges that could damage waste bags, easy to clean. The vehicles should be cleaned and disinfected daily. Treatment and disposal of healthcare waste. Incineration, chemical disinfection, wet and dry thermal treatment, microwave irradiation, inertialization. This is all so much details is not needed. I will send this slide. You can read about it. Let's go to the management of waste. Waste management is a problem in rural and urban India. Many areas, particularly in developing countries, still have inadequate waste management supply, poorly controlled open dumps, and illegal roadside dumping still remains a problem. Such dumping spoils scenic resources, pollutes soil and water resources, and is a potential health hazard. So, according to the United Nations Center for Human Settlements, only between 25 to 55% of all waste generated in large cities is collected by municipal authorities. So, the 4R concepts are there: reduction, reuse, recovery, and recycling. So, these 4Rs are very important: reduction, reuse, recovery, recycling. So, rules by the ministry. There are a lot of duties. I will send it. Read about all these things in details. Maybe we will not have a question quiz on this part, but do read about the duties. Authorities responsible. These are the authorities: the secretary in charge, urban local body, state pollution control board. These play very important roles. So, what are the occupational hazards associated with waste handling? Infections, chronic diseases, accidents. So, this I will talk about plastic waste handling tomorrow when I talk about plastic waste. And there are some initiatives like the Bhagidari scheme in Delhi. The Delhi government instituted the Bhagidari scheme for ensuring close cooperation of the resident welfare associations, civic agencies, and the government. A step in the right direction was taken by getting a court order for compulsory segregation of waste at the household level. Then Bangalore Agenda Task Force, that was done. This was another thing which was done. Safai Karmacharis, said there was the Mumbai initiative. And the big eyewash and hogwash called the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. Politicians only do this. This is for show. And it was for collecting the Swachh Bharat tax. Instead of giving the municipality more funds into working, this was done. So, to conclude, the menace of solid waste in many sectors has become a monstrous reality. Nothing substantial has been done in most of the towns and cities of the country. Although India has the most comprehensive municipal solid waste management handling rules, it is just a directive on paper without any enforcement and implementation. Very little effort has been made to trade and build the capacity of all stakeholders. Hence, there are all kinds of excuses given for its failure. Resource agencies like NGOs want to take the initiative but do not wish to get involved till they have a complete assurance of cooperation from all stakeholders, especially the government and civic agencies. The government should educate and inform people about such projects before executing any plan so that the desired results are obtained. Biomedical waste management is as important as treatment plan for healthcare professionals. Awareness programs should be conducted for all healthcare personnel and auxiliary personnel of various healthcare institutes to keep side by side with the current knowledge of scientific biomedical waste management system and its importance and benefits to the patient, staff, community, and as an entire. Safe and effective management of biomedical waste is not only a legal necessity, but it is also a social responsibility. So all these references are there. You could check. It's taken from the internet. And nothing is original. It's all taken from the internet. And thank you very much. And I'm stopping the sharing. So anybody, this is open for discussion. People can give your views regarding this particular solid waste management. What your views are or your opinions, experiences, you can share freely. There is somebody has written something over here.
गुड इवनिंग सर.
Yeah, good evening.
सर मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है कि अक्सर कहा जाता है जैसे कि टीचर को कि टीचर वही अच्छा होता है, टैलेंटेड होता है जो जैसे कि अगर कोई टीचर किसी बच्चे को कोई बच्चा अगर 90% मार्क्स लाता है और उसे 100% तक पहुंचाना ये कोई बड़ा काम नहीं है. लेकिन जब कोई बच्चा 0% लेवल पे है या 10% लेवल पे और वो 30% पहुंचा रहा है टीचर, तो वो एक ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट होता है. तब समझ आ जाता है कि वो टीचर. तो ये जितनी भी हम लोगों ने वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट के बारे में समझा जाना, तो ये जब भी हम किसी लिटरेट फैमिली पे जाते हैं या अच्छे बिल्डिंग जहाँ पर होते हैं या जहाँ मेड्स काम करते हैं, तो वहाँ के लिए तो सही होता है, वो लोग सारी चीज़ फॉलो करते हैं. लेकिन जब हम एक ऐसे एरिया में जाते हैं जहाँ झोपड़पट्टी है, जहाँ के लोग इलिटरेट हैं, तो उन्हीं के यहाँ जैसे कि मैंने केस स्टडी किया था उस इलाके का, तो वहाँ पर जाने के बाद ये समझ में आया कि उन लोगों के पास तो नहाने के लिए बाल्टी नहीं होता, तो अलग अलग डस्टबिन कहाँ से होंगे. और फिर वो उनके पास उनके यहाँ जब म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन के लोग भी नहीं आते हैं कचरे को एक इकट्ठा करने के लिए, वो इतने लिटरेट भी नहीं होते कि हम उन्हें कैसे अवेयर करें, कि उन्हें कैसे समझाएं, या तो उन्हें पनिश नहीं किया जा सकता, उन्हें लालच नहीं दी जा सकती. देन ऐसे सिचुएशन में हमें क्या करना चाहिए, उन्हें कैसे अवेयरनेस लाएं उनके अंदर कि वो वेस्ट को कम करे, क्योंकि वो लोग कहते हैं कि हम लोग नाला में फेंक देते हैं ताकि रोड पे आने जाने लोगों को दिक्कत ना हो, या फिर रोड पे ही कहीं पे किनारे पे फेंकते हैं तो रोड पे भरने लगता है कचड़े वगैरह जो भी भरने लगता है। तो ऐसे सिचुएशन में उन लोगों के साथ कैसे क्या ट्रीट किया जाए, कैसे सिचुएशन लाया जाए, अवेयर कैसे किया जाए उन्हें?
देखो, पहले तो जो चाहिए यहाँ पे ये है पॉलिटिकल विल। ठीक है, अगर कोई चाहता है कि एक चीज, मैं एक समाज में ये जो प्रॉब्लम जो देख रहे हो झोपड़पट्टी में जो इलिटरेसी है, ये चीज को अगर तुम यहाँ से निकालना चाहते हो, हाँ, एक वो जड़, उसको तो जड़ से तो तुम निकाल नहीं पाओगे, क्योंकि वो बहुत अंदर में वो हम लोग के अंदर घुसा हुआ है। देखो, ये हम लोग के देश में एक इनिशिएटिव लिया गया था बहुत दिन पहले, मतलब मतलब इलिटरेट, अब जो इलिटरेट है वो लोग भी चाहते हैं अपने बच्चे लोग पढ़े लिखे, समझे ना। आज आज अगर कोई भी झोपड़पट्टी में भी है तो वो भी क्या करता है कि मेरे बच्चों को कम से कम एक स्कूल में किसी तरह भर्ती करते। मैं तो काला अक्षर भैंस बराबर हूँ, लेकिन मेरे बच्चे लोग जो है, मैंने आने वाले पीढ़ी है जो है, उस उन लोग को कम से कम कुछ एटलीस्ट कुछ शिक्षा का ये है। तो ये पहले कैसा है, पढ़ लिख के क्या होगा भाई, 50 साल पहले ये तो काम तो करेगा खेत में, काम तो करेगा मजदूरी, पढ़ लिख के क्या करेगा, ये एटीट्यूड था। लोग घर में हम लोग बोलते थे अरे उसको तो स्कूल में भर्ती करो, बच्चा है। मैं 30 साल पहले की बात कर रहा हूँ, 30-35 साल के पहले। तो पढ़ो भाई, पढ़ाई करो, स्कूल में भर्ती करो, फ्री में पढ़ा रहा है यहाँ पे, ये इंदिरा गांधी का ये मिशन है, ये पढ़ाई करो, ये करो, ये करो। अरे पढ़ लिख के क्या करेगा, उसको तो करना है ये काम, पढ़ लिख के वो ना करेगा ऑफिस में काम, ना कर पाएगा ये काम, ना खेती का काम कर पाएगा, ना ऑफिस में काम कर पाएगा। हाँ, तो दिस वॉज द एटीट्यूड। लेकिन दूरदर्शन, ऑल इंडिया रेडियो में अभी भी याद, बचपन का वो गाना याद है, पढ़ना लिखना सीखो, वो भूख से मरने वालों, पढ़ना लिखना सीखो, वो मेहनत करने वालों, इसको ये हथियार बनाओ, वो मेहनत करने वालों, कलम को हथियार बनाओ। ये चीज, दिस वाज अ सोशल प्रोपागेंडा वाज डन, लगातार सोशल प्रोपागेंडा। जब भी यूनिटी पे ये आया, हिंदू मुस्लिम कॉन्फ्लिक्ट आया, ये आया, तुरंत बजे सरगम हर तरफ से, बजे देश राग, मिले सुर मेरा तुम्हारा, नेशनल यूनिटी को फैलाया। यू नीड अ सोशल प्रोपागेंडा, ये तो चाहिए था, एंड इट वाज सक्सेसफुल। आज कोई भी नहीं है ये बात पे, कोई भी तुम झोपड़पट्टी में जाओ, बच्चा नहीं बोलेगा कि वो बच्चा को स्कूल में नहीं देगा, फिर गवर्नमेंट स्कूल में कम से कम किसी भी तरह पढ़ाए। आजकल तो वो तो बच्चे लोग को ट्यूशन भी पढ़ा देता है, दैट इज बिकॉज ऑफ सोशल प्रोपागेंडा। लेकिन द ट्रेजिडी ऑफ द सिचुएशन ये है कि अभी पॉलिटिकल विल नहीं है नेताओं में, किसी भी पार्टी का। ये लोग आज एक भी कोई पॉलिटिकल, यहाँ पे पॉलिटिकल प्रोपागेंडा उल्टा सीधा। अभी अभी एक टीवी खोलो, शिट इज हैपनिंग एवरीडे, शिट इज हैपनिंग एवरीडे, यहाँ पे इसको ये किया, इसको वो किया, वो ये गंदा बात इधर से उधर बोलता जाता रहता है। मतलब कोई भी टीवी का चैनल, कोई भी सीरियल चलाओ, खाली सास बहू को गाली दे रहे हैं, ये कर रहे हैं। इससे कभी तुम्हारा एनवायरनमेंट ठीक होगा? सिर्फ तो टीआरपी रेटिंग बढ़ा रहा है। जैसे कल जो बात किया गया था, सुदीप्त सर ने बोला था कि इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट लोगों का ये टीआरपी रेटिंग बढ़ा रहा है, किसके लिए बढ़ा रहा है? तुम सब दिमाग में कहीं पे तुम एक सही चीज दिखाओगे? कोई इतना सारे एक सीरियल बनाओगे, ठीक से सीरियल जो समाज में एनवायरनमेंट के बारे में, एक एक सीरियल बनाओ ना, एक सीरीज बनाओ एनवायरनमेंट के अवेयरनेस लेके। एक मूवी भी नहीं बनता है एनवायरनमेंट लेके, खाली आजकल मतलब सिनेमा देखो तो वायलेंस, नहीं तो सेक्स, नहीं तो कमर हिला के, कोई म्यूजिक नहीं है, कोई सेक्स भी ठीक से नहीं करता है। हाँ, वो भी एक परवर्टेड चीज दिखाता है। तो दिस इज व्हाट टुडे आजकल यही दिखा रहे। सो यू आर नॉट यूटिलाइजिंग द सोशल मीडिया फॉर एक्सप्लॉयटेशन। आज एक एनवायरनमेंट लेके, मैं बचपन में मुझे याद है एक ड्रामा, एक 3 पार्ट का एक पपेट शो देखा था, मतलब टीवी में। इतना सुंदर किया था कि अर्थ वाज डाकेट, दो बच्चा और एक गधा और एक और दो, शायद मुझे याद नहीं, इतना बचपन में देखा था, याद नहीं है। आई वॉज हार्डली 12 or 13 एट दैट टाइम। हाँ, तो वो लोग दे वेंट टू द डीप डीप इनटू द अर्थ। वहां पे पोल्यूशन के लिए बर्बाद हो रहा है अर्थ, सो समहाउ दे रेस्क्यूड इट। जब वापस आया तब देखा कि उसका फादर डाइड है, बहुत साल बीत गया है। मतलब ऐसे ही बहुत सारे अभी भी मेरे दिमाग में इंप्रेशन है। इज देयर एनी सिंगल, अभी तुम दिखा सकते हो सीरियल चल रहा है कोई, मूवी ये चल रहा है एनवायरनमेंट लेके, सोप ओपेरा, जी स्टार, ये सब चल रहा है, कोई भी कोई दिखा रहा है आज ये वेस्ट लेके? कुछ भी कोई बोल रहा है? स्वच्छ भारत अभियान चालू किया, दो वो तो बंद हो गया, वो तो टैक्स लगा दिया, बस स्वच्छ भारत अभियान खत्म, मोदी जिंदाबाद हो गया, बस। सो प्रॉब्लम तो सॉल्व नहीं हुआ, ठीक है ना? और कोई क्वेश्चंस है? एनी मोर क्वेश्चंस? प्लीज फील फ्री टू आस्क, अभी भी समय है। हाँ, यहाँ पे हाउ कैन वी मोटिवेट पीपल एट द ग्राउंड लेवल, पल्लवी प्रसाद आस्क्ड। द आंसर इज सेम। डू वी हैव एनी सीरियल मोटिवेट, एनी सोशल थिंग टू प्रोटेक्ट द एनवायरमेंट? वो तो सिर्फ भाषण के लिए होता है, एनवायरमेंट लेके बातचीत। मैं भाषण दे रहा हूँ ना अभी, कोई जेन्युइन कुछ काम हो रहा है? मुझे तो या कोई भी टीवी सीरियल बना रहे, कोई मूवी डायरेक्टर बना रहे, खाली वो उल्टा सीधा चलाओ तो गाली गलौज, क्या खुकुमोनी होम डिलीवरी चलाओगे तो हमेशा वो लड़की एक लड़का के मुंह पे खाना लगा रहा है, वाइपिंग फूड, थ्रोइंग फूड एंड वेस्टिंग फूड। दैट्स व्हाट इज टीचिंग। इस तरह से मारा जाता है। दैट इज व्हाट ऑल एपिसोड्स आर शोइंग, दैट उसी का टीआरपी बढ़ता है। दिस बिग इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट, उसको टीआरपी चाहिए, पैसा चाहिए, दैट्स व्हाट यू आर गेटिंग। जो तुम दिखाओगे, यू हैव टू पुट एन आइडिया, यू हैव टू, तुमको बार बार ऐसे मूवीज, एनवायरमेंट लेके मूवीज बनाओ ना, मेक एन इंटरेस्टिंग एनवायरमेंट मूवी। कहाँ पे है? उसमें डालो ना, रोमांस डालो ना उसमें, रोमांस, वायलेंस, फाइटिंग, सब एनवायरमेंट के लिए सब कुछ डालो ना। स्टिल पीपल में जिस तरह से वो विधवा विवाह, प्रेम ग्रंथ राज कपूर, उसमें उल्टा सीधा बहुत दिखाया है, लेकिन वो विधवा विवाह, ये चीज भी उसने उसमें डाल दिया। हाँ, तो मतलब कुछ सोशल मैसेजेस भी डाल दिया उसमें से। आजकल कोई मूवीज में कोई सोशल मैसेज है एनवायरमेंट लेके? नथिंग। सो दिस इज द प्रॉब्लम। कहाँ प्रचार हो रहा है? टीवी पहले तो पढ़ना लिखा सीखो, ये तो चलाने से ही हमेशा ये बजता रहता था, आजकल सुनाई देता है ये? आजकल सिर्फ इलेक्शन के सामने ये कोरोना हो रहा है, लेकिन इलेक्शन भी चल रहा है, गंगासागर मेला भी चल रहा है। हाँ, और वहां पे कुंभ मेला चला था उस समय, जमायत को तोड़ रहा है। नेता लोग बोल रहे हैं कि भगवान राम का आशीर्वाद है, हाँ कुछ कोरोना नहीं होगा। अब भगवान राम के आशीर्वाद से गंगा में लाशों की लाश बह गया सेकेंड वेव में। तो एक्चुअली इफ देयर इज अ पॉलिटिकल विल ना, सब प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो जाता है। लेकिन इट्स माय पर्सनल ओपिनियन कि पॉलिटिशियंस, पर्सनल क्या, बहुत लोगों का ओपिनियन है, दिस इज कि इफ द पॉलिटिशियंस वांट, दे कैन इजीली सॉल्व इट, लेकिन दे वांट टू कीप दैट क्राइसिस। वो कंट्रोवर्सी चाहिए उन लोग को, उन लोग के अपने सर्वाइवल के लिए। वही 500 एमएलए के लिए, 500 या 1000 2000 एमएलए के, एमएलए राज्यसभा एमएलए के लिए, हाँ, मतलब हम लोग के 1.5 बिलियन पीपल मर रहा है, हम लोग उन लोग के लिए काम कर रहे हैं। समटाइम्स ऐसे ही लगता है हमको। और ये वही हैंडफुल ऑफ इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट, अदानी अंबानी, ये सब इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट लोगों के लिए काम कर रहे हैं। सो कॉर्पोरेट्स, दिस इज बेसिकली, तो डेमोक्रेसी तो नाम का ही डेमोक्रेसी है, बेसिकली तो कैपिटलिस्टिक इकोनॉमी तो है। इट्स ऑल sort of राजा है अंबानी, मंत्री है मोदी और प्रजा है हम, बेसिकली। मोदी नहीं, मोदी के जगह राजीव गांधी भी था, उसके जगह इंदिरा गांधी भी था, कोई भी पार्टी का लगा दो वहां पे। अंबानी के जगह पे टाटा को लगा दो, बिरला को लगा दो, जो भी है, इट्स द सेम थिंग। वन इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट, वन पॉलिटिशियन, politician under the pay of the industrialist, and basically the praja is working for them। उन लोग के बीच मारपीट कर रहे, कोई हिंदू मुस्लिम में इशू ही नहीं है, साला मारो इसको। ये सिचुएशन, एनवायरनमेंट को बर्बाद करो। सो अभी क्या ये थूकना, ये गुटखा खाना बंद करवा सकता है कोई? आज कोई भी मतलब जगह पे कोई भी प्रोपागेंडा है कि गुटखा के लिए कुछ सोशल स्लोगन ऐड कुछ निकला है? नहीं निकला है। ये नियम बना दिया, 2 दिन बाद नियम निकाल दिया, दूसरा पार्टी आया निकाल दिया नियम, दैट्स इट। अरे गुटखा खोर लोगों को हम लोग नियम बनाया, गुटखा खाने नहीं देंगे, साला गुटखा खोर बोल दिया हम तुमको वोट नहीं देंगे, बस हो गया खत्म, गुटखा अलाउड। This is the problem. So अगर कोई, if there is any more no more questions, then can we conclude today? Yes, no? कोई हाँ ना
Yes,
बोलो?
sir.
Okay, we can conclude
Yes,
today.
sir.
Okay, Shashwati, Rajrupa, I am ending. Zarka, anybody there?
Yes, one of the we are there. It's a wonderful one.
Okay,
Zarka, you are there now?
maybe not. She's also not feeling well. I have a problem with my throat. I think
But Didi is there. Rajrupati is there, I guess. Zarka, maybe network issues is there or something.
anyway. So I am ending it today. Again, we meet tomorrow. Session of radioactive and plastics. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
Dada, for this wonderful this gesture, this meeting. So I think it's very convenient for the student to get the gist what sir is saying, right?
It's the same
Yes,
We
thing.
will
sir.
provide you a feedback form and do respond to it. Okay. I think they are having some network issues, Dada. This.
Anyway, so we end it.
Do you have any more queries?
I think so. They are too tired now. Any queries? Ask me tomorrow.
Yeah, it will be continued till tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Dada. Okay.